I've heard in your recordings too.
When did you write this?
Last night. Well, I've been editing it all day.
Say again?
I've been editing it. I wrote it last night, but I've been editing it throughout the day.
So you feel that the question is current with what you now know, with the resonance that you've now found. In other words, is the question current with what you now know?
Well, I'm new to this, so I feel like I'm hearing one thing and wanting to do that, but then I have this issue that feels bigger than myself, that people are
Of
wanting...
everything that you heard us say here today, what stands out the most? Because we had the best demonstration of it that we have ever experienced. What's the biggest thing that stands out here today?
Not focus on something that you don't want more of.
We are so happy that you heard that. We're so happy that you heard that, because that is, and what happens when you do focus upon something that you don't want?
You get more of it.
Because
you're focusing on it.
And because law of attraction just brings more.
Right.
We don't think you're new. We think you've got it. We think you've got that. So knowing that now, you see, this is something that's going to clear a lot of things up for a lot of you, because you've been watching us, and sometimes the audience will observe us talking to one person, and we're just all full of answers. And the next poor schmuck person who comes to the chair, we say, no, we're not going there with you. And they have to think, well, that's not fair. You went deep and dirty with that person, and this person... And we want you to understand that it has to do with where you are vibrationally. In other words, if you are someone who has been consistently on that state of allowing resonance, and you want to talk about something, and we are fairly certain that the new idea will result from where you are, then we'll go. But if the probability of just sustaining where you are in a stronger way is there, then we don't encourage it. Can you feel the difference? It's what we want you to always do with yourself. Sometimes probing in something is really interesting. Figuring something out is really, really fun. It's really fun to figure things out. Not so fun to figure other things out. Well, we're not beating up on you. All right, so now take all that in. Zap. If we could do that, none of you'd ever show up here. So what do you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to focus on it, but I feel like if I don't do something or move forward, that other people will be affected in the same way I was.
Well, here's the thing. When something is bothering you, when you know what you don't want, and you do, then what you do want is really active in the ethers. Really active. Really, 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 really active. So we just want to help you find a way to come into vibrational alignment with the energy that brings about the result that you want. So we're happy to talk with you about what you want. So we're going to ask you to do something that most people can't do, but that we know that you can do. We want you to go as general as you can and tell us what you want. Just as general as you can. Step back as far into the generality as you can. Even starting with something so simple as, I want to feel a resolution in this. I want to feel happy. It's more important that we help you choose the disc than that we focus on the subject. Because focusing on the subject just holds you where you are in relationship to the disc, and no progress happens. So we want to help you find this. Is there any subject in the world that takes you to a better feeling place? It's not active in you right now, but is there any subject that's easy? See, this we can feel how annoying this is. I've come to visit with infinite intelligence. I have a problem. I have a problem that I would like to discuss, and they won't talk with me about it. It's like they're so determined to stay in their high-flying place that they're not willing to address the real world that I live in. And we say, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And Esther affords us the opportunity of visiting with you in a way that you might not have access to otherwise. But you got to be up to speed with what you want. You got to be up to speed with who you are to live the progress that you want to live. And there is no way around it. You cannot complain enough. You cannot get others to agree with you enough. You cannot point out the injustices enough. You cannot protect anyone from anything. Because this is a universe that's based on attraction. There's no exclusion. It's all inclusion. So anything you say, anything you think causes you to emit a vibration that causes it to be included into your experience. And our only question is, what do you want to include, and what do you want to include, and what do you want to include? Because there's no exclusion. So what do you want to include? What do you want to include? Anything you think about, you're including. Want to include that? Not so much. Don't think about it. Want to include that? Not so much. Don't think about it. Want to include that? Yeah, a little of that. Think about it.
I just got it.
You really did, didn't you? So now the next thing is, it would be nice if we could visit with you on the first day you got here, because we'd say, welcome to planet Earth. Welcome to planet Earth. Everything's going to go exactly the way you want it to. You have lots of opportunity to mix it up with lots of others, and you're going to figure out things that are uniquely desirable to you. And when you do, at first they're not going to be there, but don't worry about it. They're coming. So just savor the thought of them. Don't need them to be there in order to find pleasure in the thought of them. Take pleasure from the thought, not needing the manifestation to be there. Can you hear that? Take pleasure from the thought. Take pleasure from the idea of it. Oh, well, that's just Abraham trying to talk us out of wanting the things we want again. Yeah, pretty much. But if you're taking pleasure from the thought, well, there are some thoughts that just don't have much pleasure in them yet because you've been practicing a different vibration. So stay off of those. But when you find a thought that you can take pleasure from, then just milk that thought, you see. And then what begins to happen is, as you find pleasurable thoughts that then give you pleasure, and pleasurable thoughts that give you pleasure, and pleasurable thoughts that give you pleasure, and pleasurable thoughts that give you pleasure, that feel good, that are exciting, that are adventurous, that are fulfilling, that are satisfying, that are interesting, that are provocative, that are life-affirming, that feel good to you, that feel like love and appreciation and passion. You find those thoughts, then, and you practice those thoughts, and you sustain those thoughts, then that becomes the frequency of that which you are. Then every subject that is important to you has to rise to that level. So the solution to everything that you've ever asked for will show itself to you. And the thing that's nice is not all at once. Not all at once. You couldn't take it if it all came at once. You don't want it all at once. You want the breadcrumb trail, sort of. You want it to come. First of all, it won't come to you faster than you're ready to receive it. But it will come as fast as you are ready to receive it. Well, how can you speed up your readiness to receive it? Stay off the subject if it bothers you, and get on the subject of what doesn't bother you. Sort of counterintuitive to what you've learned. Esther has been enjoying focus wheels. Focus wheel, she has a template. She makes the statement of how she wants to feel, whether she feels that way or not, in the center. And then she makes statements that feel like that, until she's made enough statements that feel like that she feels like that. She stays off the subject that doesn't feel like it, tries to find subjects that do feel like it. In other words, you want to take some subject, stay off that subject, but take some subject, and let's do a focus wheel, and we'll show you what we mean. Some subject of something that you feel pretty good about, but you'd like to practice the vibration of it even more.
My children, I feel good about spending more time with them lately.
All right, so this is a focus wheel about me being the best possible influence to my children that I can be. So that's a strong statement that you want to feel, that you don't necessarily feel that you're always there, but you sure would like to. Yeah. So it's a good subject for a focus wheel. So then you find something that you can think about. Now remember, just looking for a pleasurable thought. not looking for something that tests you, not looking for something that challenges you. You're not trying to beat yourself up or motivate yourself. You just want to find a statement that resonates with your desire to be a really uplifting, beneficial to your children parent. So you just say something that feels like that. You have something you want to say, or you want us to find it? I like being a mother.
Yes.
I like being a mother.
Yes.
It's true, isn't it?
Yes.
I really like being a mother. Sometimes. Well, now that sometimes sort of took away from it, didn't it? I like being a mother sometimes, so just back that sometimes off. No, I like being a mother. I like being a mother. I like having kids. I like the freshness of kids. I like their eagerness for life. You do, don't you?
Yes.
So I like being a mother. I like the eagerness for life I see in kids. I wish I could restore that in myself. Did you feel how off that felt? I like being a mother, and I like the eagerness that I see in the little ones. And I like that. I really like that. Just leave it there. I like that. Not I like that, but I like that. Mm-hmm. I like seeing the eagerness. I like how spontaneous they are. I like how real they are. I like how real they are. Now, sit with that for a minute. I like how real they are. I like the well-being. I like the well-being that I like that feeling. I like thinking about the wonderful life that my kids have ahead of them. Now, did that settle right there, or did it activate some worry because you're not sure? Did it activate the unknown? Well, if it activated the unknown, then say it better. I like thinking about things going well for my kids. If it didn't sit right, then say it better. I'm looking forward to what's coming. I'm looking forward to what's next. There's always going to be something that's next. Say it even better. There's always going to be something that's next. I like the idea of being steady and ready for what's next. Oh, that sounded a little guarded. Ready for what's next. I'm eager. I'm eager about what's next. I'm looking forward to what's coming. I like the feeling of eagerness. Don't always find it. Back it off. I like the feeling of eagerness. Don't always find it. Back that off. I like the feeling of eagerness. I like the feeling of eagerness. I like the eagerness I see in my kids. I'm going to encourage the eagerness I see in my kids. I love encouraging their eagerness. I like knowing I don't have to rein them in. Now, that wasn't a very good statement, because the reining them in so say it better. I don't need to rein them in. I don't want to rein them in. I don't want to be the guide of them. I want to be the example of them. That's it. I want to be the example of them. I want to be the aligned, connected, high-flying disc example for them. Didn't that feel good to say that? Yeah. Now, you couldn't have said that when we first started, but you sort of warmed up to it. I like being the high-flying example to them. I really like that. I like that. I like what I'm learning from them. I like what they're learning from me. I like that we're all in this together. What a perfect family. It's like we planned it in advance. Ooh, that feels good. It's like we planned this. It's like we planned this. It's like we were born to be together. It's like we're really on this perfect path. It's like nothing really is going wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. I could perceive it as wrong, but nothing's really wrong. And I can change my perception, but nothing's really wrong. I like molding my perception. Molding my perception is fun. I'm getting better and better at this. This is pretty fun. These thoughts feel pretty good. I like thinking good feeling thoughts. I like getting on the run of that. I can feel momentum about this. I can feel that I'm tuning in. It's like a broader perspective is knowing who I am and what I want. It's like I'm being guided by a broader perspective. I feel sort of frisky right now. I feel eager about life. I feel like I don't have a problem in the world. I feel invincible even. I feel like sort of bring it on. No, I take that back. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I'm not challenging anybody to challenge me with anything. I just feel ready. I feel ready. I feel like I'm asking and allowing and asking and allowing. I feel like I'm allowing and asking and allowing and asking and allowing and asking and allowing and asking. I was asking and then allowing. Now I'm allowing and asking. Feels sort of different. See, now, so we got off the subject, not really, off the subject, found alignment. You feel better. Didn't solve any problems in the sense that the problem, if you focused on it, would still be there. But you solved the problem in the sense that it wasn't there while you were offering these thoughts. And If you can fill more moments with the absence of the problem, it will not be able to grow. It will not be able to sustain itself. Your attention to it is the only thing that keeps it active in your experience. Do you believe that?